Hi guys, welcome to Sip and Speak with Rama. It's been like a couple of days since I posted a video, but it's all for a good cause. If you haven't subscribed to my page, please do. I feel like the engagement isn't much as I expected, but I'm always going to ask because I know it's small beginnings that sprout out to be something greater. So I still have greater hopes that this page is going to be very what it's supposed to be. I still have my wine here. Today my parents found my YouTube page. This is so sour. Usually I don't allow my family or friends to follow my social media. I like to show it to people that I don't think I'll ever meet or I'm not really in connection with, because it kind of makes me feel a bit safer. I don't like it when people actually know my ins and out and whereabouts. So I know there have been numerous of times that I have blocked my mother on various social media platforms. And sometimes I see that she does try to create different accounts, keep them anonymous, but come on, the woman, I know the woman's move. Like, I know what she does. Like, I know, like, you can switch from Rebecca and go make it Becky. I know. So I just block her from it. Currently I'm in my 30s, right? And I've just been having some thoughts. I'm like, okay, there are certain things that may be a bit unconventional that a lot of people may not be thinking about, but there have been many times that I have wished that I dated when I was in high school, because I wanted to experience the high school, love thing. I went to Swedo Senior High School. It's a nice school. I enjoyed my time there and my experiences there as well. I met very incredible people there. The school actually taught me so much that I didn't know about myself. While I was there, I was the senior house prefect for Fankoba House 1. So those of you who know me would know. Unfortunately, I wouldn't say unfortunately, but I did study visual art. I loved the program. I intentionally chose to study visual arts. And for those people that think that they just throw you into visual art if you're not able to get into any of the courses or whatever, for me it was intentional. Back to the fact that I wish I dated while I was in high school, because I feel like I've been deprived of that feeling of having your boyfriend write a letter to you, probably from a different senior high school, because I know at the time there were people who would get letters, because I was a house prefect, so everything came to me. All these letters that I had to distribute and stuff like that, they came to me. Have people having boyfriends in St. Augustine's, Palm Senior High School, whenever, Infanta Pam, all the, Pope Jones, all of those schools. And then, they bring this scented letters, very decorated, and, they had all these incredible sentences. And sometimes the beginning of these letters just amuse me. Of course I eavesdrop. Like, I end up going to look at it and stuff like that. And some of them was just so excited and all of that. Most of these letters, they just kind of like spray in them. They kind of put some perfume in them, especially the guys trying to go an extra mile. Honestly, these things were things to die for. Anybody would die for. Like, once you get that letter, that, oh my God, my week is about to be the best. I used to be very jealous of those girls. Like, wow, must be nice, huh? For those of you who didn't know, I was a tomboy. I mingled with the boys, not because primarily the population of students in my class were male, but also because prior to that, I just enjoyed being around men. I enjoyed their company. I felt like we could vibe and stuff like that. And so most of the guys, they treated me as though I was one of them, even though I was fully, developed down there and up here. So we used to go for jams. Unfortunately, I was so deprived of many things in senior high school because of the decisions I made. Because at the time, I felt like your school mother or anybody older than you had to shape the way you'd live on campus. My school mother was a choir mistress or choir mother. She kind of like was the head of the choir aside the president or whatever. So because of that, she right from when we started school, we were signed her, and then because she was in the choir, so we had to join the choir for 4 freaking damn years. And to date, I regret joining that choir because I feel like I didn't really get to enjoy my high school days. There was so many rules. Like those of you that went to Swiss school, you know that, and if you were in the choir or you knew anything about the choir, you know that like once you're in the choir, you cannot do certain things. Like there are certain entertainments on weekends that you're not allowed to go because it was seen as though like you're contraindicating whatever the choir stood for. So like, for instance, Chan Chan, which a lot of people will call jams, but that's like a dance event. They play music and people dance and stuff like that. We were not allowed to go, even if we would go because it was meant. If we were, we had to go and it was mandatory because it was mandatory. We'll just be on the wall, like not dance. But I'm telling you, those songs were kicking me, like my feet. Once you're moving your feet, another chorus is looking at you like, And the way they're gonna stare at you is gonna be like, oh, look at the devil, tapping her toes, tapping her feet. Why are you doing this? That's the song from the devil and stuff like that. And honestly, every weekend passed and I regretted being part of the choir. There were so many times that I knew that I did not belong in. I was in because my school mother, at some point in time, let me tell you, when we did our prom night, because yes, we did have a prom night. When we did our prom night, let me tell you, there's this guy in class. We bear the same last name. I'm not going to expose his name, but if you happen to see this video and you're from Swissco and you were in the same class with me, you'd know that. You would know who I'm talking about. But this guy had the same last name with me, and I thought he was very cute and all of that. So luckily, I was like, oh my god, this is my last chance on campus. Like, we are done with senior high school. I don't want to leave without having experienced this feeling of dancing with a guy or having a guy dance, hold me and, enjoying that feeling that I've been deprived of every weekend. So the prom night, we were allowed to go home to get muftis. Those of you who don't know muftis, they're clothes that they're not uniform, so clothes that you wear home. So we're allowed to bring those. So a lot of us kind of went all out. I remember my friend Denise. Denise is a very pretty girl. Like, I don't know, she won the prom queen that year. But like, my friend Denise, she's like a fashionista. She knew everything of fashion and all of that. She did our makeup, or somebody else did our makeup, because they kind of brought like a whole makeup set thing or whatever. So for the first time, I had makeup on my face, and then I got my mama got me some dresses, like some dress. It was really cute. I still remember it was like a gold color or something. And then for our hair, because we're not allowed to add any like peppermint cream or stuff like that, so we kind of put like soap, the key soap. You're gonna put it all over the hair for a very long time. You're gonna like put it on the hair so thick, and then you're gonna tie it around because the goal is to achieve some sort of curls and stuff like that. So basically, yeah, we did that, but we were able to sneak gel. So we got the gel and styled it. And let me tell you, the style that was in vogue at the time, it was like you just pat it either in the middle or on the side and put the gel on the front side. You put the gel here and leave the back fro. Not that I think about it, I'm like, we were so sick. So literally, that's exactly what I did. And then the makeup had some glitter and stuff like that. No lashes, nothing like that. So a bunch of girls wore them, but I thought that was just too much for me. So then you get your heels and all of that. And that night I was like, I am going to dance. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if they excommunicate me from the choir. I am going to dance. So I went there, and I don't know who came to who, but at the end of the day, this guy who bears the same last name as me and I ended up dancing. I was so happy because he may not know this, but I'd had a crush on him for a very long time. And he probably did not regard me so much because I was always with the guys. I was that kind of girl that you wouldn't think or consider to be dateable. You know, I'm not like, when we're talking about boyfriend and girlfriend, yeah, you're not gonna add me to the list. Be like if somebody told you Mary or Rama or Nana, any of these names was dating, you're gonna be shocked. Like, you're not gonna believe it. You're not gonna believe it because you're like, what? Who? How? Like, make it make sense. That's the kind of girl I was. So yeah, I got to dance with my little crush on that day, and I don't think he knows that this is how I felt about him when we were back in school. Hopefully he gets to see this. We follow each other on Instagram, but we don't really like test each other or something like that. But hopefully he gets to see this. And those of you that went to school with me, you probably know who I'm talking about. The reason I told this story is because I feel like that may have affected certain aspect of my life growing up, because I kind of had this idea of not being undateable, you know, like, because I didn't have that experience. I felt like, I don't know, even if I get into it, what am I gonna do? Like, I have no experience or something like that. So I remember my first ever boyfriend. I didn't date. Okay, I'm not gonna. I dated really late. I'm not gonna tell the age, but dated really late. I wish I dated earlier, which I did say, but like, I dated really late. So my first ever boyfriend, when that man started talking, like, I'm like, oh my God, like, everything sounded so promising and sounded like, oh my God, like, I believed him so much. Hey, I believed him so much. Like, just say one cut, like, unless he doesn't say anything, I'll be like, you're right. I believe you. We dated for like a year. And I believed him. Like, I was so naive. One time I remember we were kind of like, okay, so my first boyfriend had kids. I told him he was my first boyfriend. This guy was like, you're bad. You're a bad girl. There's no way I'm your first boyfriend. I trying to say that you've not dated before. I was like, wow, I took that as a compliment, because then it would be like, oh, I'm not undateable or something like that, you know? So I'm like, oh yeah, you're up, but I'm not going to convince you. Stick with whatever. I remember one time we were just, doing bad people stuff. Not what you're thinking, but, doing a little bit of kissing and stuff here and there. And my first boyfriend had kids. No, not kids. He had one kid. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know, for some reason, we're just kissing here and there. And then I was like, oh my God. Then the thought of his kid came in my mind. And I said, how about your kid? He said, fuck them kids. I was like, hey. Hey, somebody. Whatever he will do to get what he wants, even if he has to fuck them kids, fuck his kids, tell you he didn't. The man ended up saying, fuck them kids. I did not want them in the first place. I was like, hey, your own children. Just say, wow, ba. I graduated 3 years. So he was not with the partner. As I said, I was naive. Naive. Kiss and I was like, fuck them kids. I didn't want them in the first place. I'm sure he'll see this video. And he'll remember, probably, I don't know, but it was then I got to know that, hey, men would leave you in the desert without water. Some man, oh my gosh. I was like, fuck them kids. And I was believe it. I believed it. Fuck them kids. I'm gonna say, I'm the ultimate. Just say I'm the winner. Because if that man can say fuck them kids, that means the man loves me. We only dated a year. It was after he got admission to a PhD program in a different state that he told me that that's the reason why he came to Georgia and that's the reason why he came to the United States. So basically, he was just, because to me, I was like, this is my man. Like, this is him. Because the man was showing me love and all of that. Hey, you know what? I remember one time we went to the lake. We had this favorite beer. It was called Four Loko. At some point in time, that beer was banned. And that was the thing that you identify as with. Would buy that, and then we know, oh, this weekend we're going to chillax. We buy that, get some meat, drink, watch TV, watch shows, sleep, and that was it. And one time I remember we got the Four Loko, got some meat, went to the lakeside, we started eating. I got drunk. Just that Four Loko is so huge. I think it's like 24. I think it's like 32 ounce or something. 16. I think it's 32 fluid ounce. It's really huge. So I finished that whole can. Now faminiso. Now faminiso sansa. Now I don't know. Akuma. Just say, I don't know if feminist na behe. I make raps. Oh my God, I love you. Like I've never loved anyone like that. The way you make me feel, it's just a profound. It's just inexplicable. Just like I can't stop thinking about you, even when I'm in class. That's how I was in school. I was in college. Kind of like whenever you come in my mind, follow kono, mame kan kwasi asem. And you know the funny thing, yeah. These things, when you're in it, you won't realize how crazy it is until some time. Then you're kind of like looking from the outside, like, was that me? Like that was me? Hey, just a minute, na mi karab sano. Me, and na me ada dilumba. Hoy jumano. Na me kase, na boya kase. I love you, Miss. I love you more. I said, we're gonna get married. I said, I can see that. Yeah, I see that. Don't worry. Just me who's a man, no. That's my man. Young lasted. Once he got into the PhD program, Babut, Professor Wijanek, when to the broken heart, I was broken hearted. And think about it, at my age, at the age that I started dating, experiencing a broken heart for the first time was embarrassing. My colleagues were getting married. They were having babies. Here I am experiencing my first broken heart. Because my mom made my favorite. And one thing about me, I'm not going to talk about my problems with nobody. She made my favorite. I'm going to say, mami, come on to me. So my mom was so worried, like, hey, what's going on? Should we take you to the hospital? She didn't know what I was going through. I was experiencing my first breakup. This is crazy. Like, why do girls have to go through this shit? Like, why do we have to go through this? But I know that a few years later, would meet somewhere in Midtown in my apartment because he'd come to visit a friend, so he decided to pass by. And I think he was using that time to explain something. I don't know what he had to explain or whatever, but he was saying that I could not keep up with a relationship. I felt like you were too much for me in terms of like you were above my league. I was like, dude, I didn't ask you for nothing. I'm not that girl that be asking for stuff. Oh, mom, yeah, fine. Oh, mom, it's fine. We move. So that's a flimsy excuse. You're just trying to create an excuse. And I don't even understand why. And then I asked him, so are you trying to say that like you... I was like, so you explaining this, are you saying that you want us to come back? I was like, he was like, I didn't say Timalele though, but I was kind of angry. I was compelled to explain to him to say my side, but I felt like it didn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense, and I didn't even want to, justify. I didn't want to honor that conversation with a response. Honestly, I was not going to do none of that. For somebody that can tell his kids that fuck them kids, who the fuck am I? Shit. He left me to pursue a PhD program. Yeah, good for him. I'm very sure he's going to see this. But yeah, honestly, when I tie this back to this first story that I said, I'm like, I feel like I wish I had opportunities, or I'd given myself opportunities to date more, to experience a lot of relationships, like date around. There's nothing wrong with dating around. I feel like people don't really understand the concept of dating. Like, date around more, talk to a lot of people, understand how the human mind works, especially from the masculine view or masculine side. Have my hat broken a couple of times while I was in high school, because I'm sure that if I did have my hat broken in high school a couple of times, if I'd come out when I was in college and all grown up and stuff like that, maybe I would have found a better way of handling the situation that I found myself in, and a lot of other stuff, but yeah, I think it'll turn out good. I don't know, but I was just thinking about it. I wish, like, because sometimes when people are telling stories about their high school first love and high school relationships and stuff like that, I be wanting to, add my inputs, talk about stuff that I probably would have experienced. I think I was just a school person. I went to school. Listen, even my cousin, whom we had the same school mother, Gloria, she's in Germany. She had a boyfriend, and that boyfriend was in the church, like a church thing. Both of them, yeah. She did. So I was just there hanging out with the guys. But anyway. And then I promised myself that once I have a baby, when I have a child, I think I'm going to be a very cool mom because I have so many stories to tell. And I think that if my daughter wants to date during high school, I would want them to experience that. But I'll put in the implications. I'll let them know what the implications are. There's going to be strict measures that they'll have to know, because I feel like it's important they get to know these stuff until they grow old, so they don't act stupid when a man tells them that I love you and probably doesn't mean it or whatever. I feel like, yeah, basically, this is exactly what I'll tell. Like, that's how I want to raise my daughter, you know. I want her to be free, to explore her feelings and stuff, because I don't think I got to explore my feelings a lot. It was too concrete. It was just too concrete. So I want to do that, but they'll understand the implication of their actions, and they'll be very cautious, you know. Of course, no sex or something, no sex or whatever until they get married. But, and I stand by that. But I would want them to explore their feelings and to know how to date, to understand how the masculine mind works, especially from that age. Because I'm telling you, once you understand how they think while they're teenagers, once they grow up, you realize whether they've gotten the frontal lobe or not. Yeah, you know. Uh-huh. So yeah, and maybe it's just beautiful that you can find somebody that you dated as high school. I had this girl that I work with. She met her husband. They were high school sweethearts, and they're still married. I'm telling you, it's nice seeing their pictures together, and the way she talks about her husband. She knows this man in and out. Not that I'm saying these things guarantee like a happy marriage or something, but I think that it's beautiful to build that kind of relationship with somebody you know, okay? And also be hopeful that it's going to turn out to be something great and amazing, you know? Yeah, with the 20 something, not 20, whatever, nah, then you get your first heartbreak, now to what? Fufu Karun Tumindi. Favorite bro, DNA. A pim or whatever, untumindi, was when you're breaking heart in your 20s. It's a damn shame. Go drink coffee. That's what my mama gonna tell me. You should be like, go drink coffee. Anywho, I hope you guys like my hair because I am feeling this. I went to my neighbor's party yesterday, and then this man sees me over there. He approaches me and tells me that I look like Cyndi Lauper. Cyndi Lauper is white. I have very indigenous features. Cyndi Lauper don't look like me. The hair, maybe. But that shit was blonde. So, sorry. Yeah, no. Anyway, make sure you subscribe to my page. Make sure you like and share. It will really help because I like to tell these stories and I want a lot of people to hear these, okay? So make sure you subscribe to my page. Today's Sunday. Make sure you have an amazing week. Honestly, I feel like the month of June is just going to be full of blessings, unimaginable blessings. Things that you pray for are just going to be sprouting so hard. You just have to put in the necessary work. Be truthful to yourself and your feelings. They're valid though. And yeah, as usual, I didn't finish. These days I don't finish my drink. But have a wonderful week. This has been Sip and Speak with Rama. Catch you next time. Bye.